It is estimated that 1 in 10 children have eczema.
And the itch of eczema can make it hard for babies to sleep at night. Plus, kids with a skin condition are more likely to get skin infections. You got all that itching and scratching there. So joining us with tips to treat and manage eczema, Dr. Gigi Chawla, Chief of General Pediatrics at Children's Minnesota. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me back.
Yeah, why don't we just start with what is eczema and what does it actually look like in kids?
Yeah, so eczema is often described as just sensitive skin, but it really is an imbalance in how much moisture is trapped in the skin itself. And when you have that imbalance, you get dry, red, irritated, and sometimes cracked skin.
So those are things that parents can look for. Are there things that can trigger eczema?
Yes.
Like outside factors that can trigger eczema?
Absolutely. So eczema can be genetic, right? It tends to run in families, particularly for families who have allergies. But also the conditions that we put our skin through can cause eczema to flare.
What do you mean when you say that?
Yeah, so things like a lot of sweat can be irritating to skin. Any exposure to a lot of perfumes or other scents like that can cause eczema or irritated skin, and then allergies can certainly cause it.
AJ, hockey socks and hockey skates can cause a lot of eczema.
You're speaking from experience here.
Your ankles, yeah, it does. It is.
That's right.
It is not pretty, and it hurts. What can parents do? Like, first of all, to prevent, but then if it does happen, to treat.
Yeah, well, first of all, to prevent, you really want to minimize those things that are going to cause that skin to break down. So if your child's trigger is sweat, you got to get that salt off.
Right.
You got to be able to wash that salt off and make sure that you moisturize that skin regularly. You know, another trigger is overwashing. So it is a delicate balance. So if you're always washing that skin, having your child have a lovely 20-minute bath every night, that might be too much. You might be actually breaking down that skin barrier. After any bath, you really want to do a heavy moisturizer to try to lock in that moisture too.
Can you outgrow eczema? Can kids outgrow it?
You can. You know, it tends to be outgrown, for kids by the time they're about 4 or 5 or start heading into school. You know, the pattern of eczema changes as well, where in infants you tend to get a lot of eczema flares on the face and on the trunk, and by toddlerhood it's kind of in the folds, in the sweaty areas of kids' skin.
Yeah.
And usually by the time kids are headed into kindergarten, it will really dissipate unless you really have a genetic predisposition.
Or you put yourself in that spot. I see creams that say like eczema cream. Does the cream the lotion you're talking about, does that have to be eczema specific?
It doesn't have to be eczema specific, but what you're really looking for in a cream is a thick cream.
Not a lotion, but a cream.
Not a lotion, but a thick cream, one that you can put a nice layer on, one that is not scented. So a lot of the baby lotions that smell so good really do not do very much for your child's skin.
One quick follow-up question. Is there a correlation between eczema and asthma?
So eczema, asthma, and allergies are all kind of in the same gene family. So those who have asthma oftentimes have eczema. Those who have eczema oftentimes have asthma, and the same is true for allergies.
Sensitive babies. All right, Dr. Gigi, thank you.